Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group, coming to you with your co-host, Angela Hiley, for another session where we're going to Dr. Phill your ass on this couples podcast.
I don't want to do no Dr. Phill, but I will say you got a bunch of French fry crumbs on your t-shirt.
How dare you? That's Chick-fil-A French fries. Them are God's French fries.
Oh, you know what? I think you're getting a hole in the crotch area of your jeans.
That's just the horse trying to get out of the barn door.
Oh,
My pants are unzipped all the time.
I know. That is true. But I think those are going to, split.
Oh, yeah. They always do, right there in the crotch area.
Yeah.
I don't know about some of you men out there, but, that's always the area that's a little tight.
Maybe tight for some and then not so tight for others.
Oh, really? I don't see how dudes wear them real tight jeans.
I don't know.
Like them super, we called them nut huggers back in the day. Like, man,
those were like skinny jeans. So what are you talking about? Because I'm
talking about the ones that are really form-fitting in the crotch area.
Those would probably be are you talking about your nephew Anthony used to wear?
Probably.
Those are like a really skinny jean. Yeah.
It just seems like I'd feel trapped all day long.
You're not talking about Wranglers, are you? No, that's usually what a lot of cowboys wear.
I think the cowboys got a little room in their crotch, probably just enough.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, what them one kids wear, them skinny jeans.
I don't know if they even wear them anymore. Is that out of style now?
Yeah. I don't think I haven't seen. Oh, skinny jeans are out of style now?
Well, I haven't seen many younger men or whatever wear those tight of jeans like what Anthony used to wear.
We used to call them nut huggers.
Yeah. Did you wear nut huggers?
I have never worn nut huggers. When I was growing up, though, I wore, they were called biker shorts.
And biker shorts are in again.
Are they in again?
Yes.
Oh, well,
they're making a big comeback.
I'm going to get me a pair.
For spring, summer. I don't know about so much for the men. I know they are for the ladies. Because it's kind of like a version of a legging now that they like to call it. They don't like to really call it biker shorts. They call them a legging short now.
You know what I'm going to bring back? MC Hammer pants.
I think people do wear those because
I might get some of them yogi pants, that people wear that are yoga, like James Franco on Why Him, the movie Why Him. If you guys have not watched Why Him, you need to go watch that movie.
It's one of our faves.
It's freaking hilarious. But they're almost like they're real. I mean, to be honest with you, they make a lot of sense.
Well, they're very baggy in the crotch area.
Yeah, super baggy in the crotch area, giving you room to move your legs, and then they kind of tighten up around the bottom of your legs.
I think I will try and find you a pair of these.
I'll wear them.
Okay.
She tried to get me to wear one of them fucking kilts one time.
You would look
like a
so
dude skirt.
Amazing in a kilt.
I ain't doing it, man. I can agree that, the Vikings and shit like that.
Well, I mean, even in the movie Braveheart, they all wore kilts. And those were some manly men, too.
You know what, though? They might have had something going on there. I mean, because if you think about it, you don't really have to unzip your pants to take a leak.
They didn't wear underwear underneath them.
Ah. So you're saying they were just going, full naked underneath?
Uh-huh. In the movie Braveheart, they never had underwear on.
I almost say, that's almost more... It covers more than if you're an Indian and you're a loincloth man. Because then there's also the loincloth man. Because the Indians, have you ever, of course you have, you've been to the Piqua.
I know, I was just getting ready to bring that up. Your mom would always go there because she always wanted to check out.
The Indians.
Yes. Because they would have,
like barely wearing anything.
yes. And she was just all about getting her lookie on.
And it was so crazy, like where I grew up in Piqua, Ohio, that they had something called the Heritage Festival every year. And people would spend like an entire week out there. I think the festival was only like a weekend, but people would go out there and spend like an entire week camping out. And you had the mountain men and you had the Indians. So
Yeah, and it was like
one part of the camp was nothing but mountain men. And it was kind of cool, actually, because they were like cooking stew underground with like charcoal, like old school, like they would dig a hole and have charcoal under it and then cook stew. And you would literally see like pots with metal tops like on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you had the Indian side, and it was basically like a bunch of half-naked Indian dudes
Yeah.
walking around with like loincloths. And they were really revealing.
Could you imagine like
You know,
little
that might be
kids
the way
seeing
to-
that shit?
That might have been the way to be, though. I mean, that might be the way we were supposed to be.
Oh, wait a minute. So now you're actually considering wearing a kilt?
Well, now
You would look so. Listen, you are such
In
a
this
manly
society,
man.
no.
You're like big and buff
No,
and
but
manly
I'm
and
trying
all
to,
this
like-
and that. Like you would look fucking awesome in a kilt.
I'm trying to go back
Woo!
and like I'm thinking that like if you were back in the
and your big
Indian
old
days,
calves showing.
you know, and you had yourself like a
Delicious.
cute little Indian girl, and you're an Indian dude with a loincloth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really kind of like quick access.
I have some Indian in me
Yeah.
from a mom's side.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. My dad's
What
side.
tribe? What tribe?
I don't know. I would have to ask her. I
Oh,
think it
come
might
on.
be Cherokee.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the thing everybody does and say that they're Apache.
Oh, no. I think it might be like some Cherokee possible. I know, on my dad's side, it's easy because that's just like German and Italian.
I don't know where the fuck I came from.
No, we'll figure that out one day.
I don't know if I'm going to give them my DNA.
They probably already have
They'll
it.
put me in the grid.
They probably already have it.
Bill Gates will be able to control me with his 5G towers.
Oh, dear God.
Boy, all that conspiracy theory shit fucking puttered out, didn't it?
Well, I think what it is like you go down those rabbit holes and you fill your head with so much of.
They had me believing some of that shit.
Well, here's the thing. I believe that there is some truth to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much truth there is, but there is some truth to that.
I'll tell you what, though, I have learned that over this course of fucking this election, to take that shit with a little bit of a grain of salt. I mean, I never really got serious about it, but there was some shit that I was like, man, this could actually happen.
You were kind of sucked in there.
I'm sucked in a little bit. But then when nothing happened, it was like a fucking total boner killer.
Well, yeah.
Like I was waiting for Biden's inauguration for Trump to storm the Capitol.
Oh, dear God.
I know, and I'm like, what? He got president? Wait, that's not supposed to happen. That's not part of the narrative. They got caught for stealing the election.
Mm.
That's all right, though. We had that whole podcast. It was probably, the podcast we did was it on the Tactical podcast or was it on this one when we did the foil, 10 foil hats?
We did it live on Facebook, but I think you put it in with the Tactical Dent Tech.
Was it with the Tactical Dent Tech
Yeah.
one? Okay, yeah.
That was like what was that, last summer that we did that?
Yeah.
It was last summer, and I made us
Mm-hmm.
tinfoil hats.
We actually haven't done a Tactical Dent Tech in a while, so we're probably going to go do that and just encourage them all to come over here because this is the one that we're going to be focusing on.
That's right.
That's right.
So what should we talk about this evening?
Well, we were just talking about Loincloth Man.
Yeah.
We are going to be heading to Dallas, and just a heads up, guys, just a heads up. The wifey's birthday is coming up, and we're going to talk about that because we're heading to Dallas a little bit early next week. But I just want to let you guys all know that I am getting ready to drop another lifetime offer.
Ooh.
I don't know what time you're going to see it tomorrow, but I decided to run it for 7 days. I was going to do it, or possibly 8 days. I was going to do it today, and I just couldn't do it, and it didn't feel right. So it came to me that I needed to launch it on Sunday. So I'm actually going to be doing a sale for a lifetime offer inside of our inner circle that's absolutely incredible. The inner circle members are just gaining so much out of the program that it's been incredible. We actually had a mastermind. We've had 2 masterminds. We've had several guest marketers come in and actually do trainings with us. It's been a couple months since I opened the gates to this, and we got a system down. You know, what I want to do is I want to open up the floodgates to begin with. Get a nice system down, get a nice algorithm, and what we do is we do 3 trainings per week. One of them is a coaching call. One of them is a Q&A, and the other one is a tactical training. So we actually do a hands-on training about something very technical. And a lot of this stuff is like new things that are happening and new things that you can learn to literally step up your company above and beyond your competition. So it's very, very reasonable.
It's too legit.
It's $297. I'm going to be dropping an offer. I'm going to leave this up for 7 days, or I've got 50 spots available, which I feel like they're going to fill up rather quickly. So I would not wait till the very last day because it'll probably be closed by then.
Jump on it.
The sale will likely be closed out by then. But we're going to be doing $297, and I'm going to do this one last time. I'm going to do a lifetime offer into the inner circle, meaning you never got to pay again. You never get into that monthly reoccurring subscription. We're not going to get charged next year. You're literally going to pay one time, and you're going to get in. And we literally do 3 trainings per week. It's not like you got to show up for every one of them. We actually record them as well. So not only do we record them inside of the group, and leave them in the group, but we also take them out and we put them inside of your Marketing Savage University. And we also give you 2 fucking killer courses where I teach you how to build your marketing machine in one of them. And then I also teach you how to systemize your business in the other one. And then you've got all the pre-recordings that we've done, all the previous ones that we've done over the last couple months inside of Marketing Savage University. All of my coaching calls, all of our tactical trainings, all of our special guests.
It just gets better and better and
all
better.
of that. It's super organized too, so you're not going to get lost inside of the curriculum.
So it's simple.
Very simple, very easy to use. But it's available right now. I'm not really going to make a big deal about it until sometime tomorrow. And you guys might hear this tonight, but it is marketingsavage.com. Marketingsavage.com. Or if you just want to skip the sales page, you can go to marketingsavageuniversity.com. And that's where you end up with your educational curriculum. And then kind of what we do is what you sign up, you immediately get access to all the education, all that great stuff. But you go check your email and you'll have an invite in there to the Facebook group. And that's where we do all of our live trainings. And it's not a free Facebook group. You have to be a member to be in the Marketing Savage Inner Circle group. It's a great it's a great bunch of people that are very open with sharing and helping each other. You don't have to worry about being criticized if you ask a question.
Yeah.
That's not the vibe. In fact, if somebody did that, I'd kick them out, to be honest with you. Like if somebody like posted a question, no matter what it was, and somebody got in there and did the dumb shit that people do on the internet, that's not the people I'm looking for. So if you're that person, don't become a member, because this is like my people's safe space to ask and be communicated to, and just to level up. So, and I'm sure if you guys are listening to this podcast, you're not an asshole anyway, so you're probably in good shape.
Don't be an ass.
Yep. So it's likely that's going to be the very last time that I do a lifetime offer, guys, and that just means you're never going to have to pay again. That's very, very cheap, $297.
Cheap.
But I want you guys to help me build this community, because once I launch my book and all the marketing that's going into that, and once we start doing webinars for this group, it's going to go up to a minimum of $1,000 per year. So yeah, and it's likely going to go up. Like I told the whole group, I'm like, my goal is to probably cap this group at around $2,000 per year. And keep it at that. But that's how valuable the group is. We also do a monthly mastermind as well, where we actually all get together on a call together, and we do it the 3rd Thursday of the month. And that's super powerful to get in there with a group of people. And there's people that show up, from brand new business owners to like multimillionaires that show up in these meetings.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, because like we don't just talk about business this, business that. We talk about life, how to keep your mental game strong, and how to become like a wealth magnet, man. We talk a lot about that, about how to open up your mind and become more of like a wealth magnet. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I'm into, and that's what I like to teach and talk about. And the group just always loves it. They always have a great time inside of our masterminds.
Yes, they do. So since my birthday's next week.
Yeah.
Or this week coming up.
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing for me for my birthday, John?
Well, I thought I'd go ahead and give you the wiener. I've been holding back on you a little bit, but I guess, hey, it's your birthday.
You're going to stick it to me, huh?
It's your birthday. I thought I'd just go ahead and give her to you. I was thinking, what's the best gift I can give her? Right, or that right there is it.
I mean, that might be one of the best gifts, but I'm sure you can do some other stuff too.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. How about if I take my pants all the way off? I don't just hold them down to my ankles.
Stop, John! You do not do that. Oh, we don't need to go.
That's a special occasion right there if I take my pants down past my knees.
Wait a minute. Do that one skit from that one movie.
No, I can't do that.
Yes,
if you're
you
say
can.
do it as a skit from a movie, no.
You know what I'm talking about. Larry the Cable Guy. Remember the wiggly bed?
Oh, Larry the Cable Guy in the wiggly bed?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I got her a nice spot down there by the muffler shop. We're heading to Texas. Got one of them wiggly beds. That's when he tells Shania Twain. He writes a letter to Shania Twain. He tells her that he'd eat her poop. Is that her name, Shania Twain? Is that?
Yeah, she's a country singer.
Yeah, he's like, Shania Twain, I'd eat your poop. That's kind of a compliment, though.
I love him. What was that movie that we watched that probably about a month or two ago?
The Health Inspector?
Yes. Oh, my God.
That was hilarious.
I forgot how funny he was.
Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy, the Health Inspector, one of the best, well, I wouldn't call it the best movie, but it is a damn funny movie.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's like if you like that redneck stuff, you're going to laugh. It's hilarious.
Shit, I grew up around them folks.
Yeah.
I grew up around like a mix of rednecks and gangsters.
I know.
Like a nice, healthy mix of that shit. We were actually just talking about. I used to go down with my good friend. His name's actually Rick James, and we used to go down to Davis, West Virginia. And earlier today, we were talking about. There's that documentary about this family in West Virginia.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
And it's like the most white trash family that you could ever find.
Yeah. And
like the town members in West Virginia were like pissed that the Netflix or whatever, I think it was a Netflix one.
It was, well, we watched it off of Amazon, but the guy that directed it was, what's his name from Jackass? Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, okay. So they were...
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Right. So they were like, the town was kind of like pissed off that they chose this one family.
Because they probably were like, they don't want people to think this is what West Virginia is about. But, I mean, come on now. Like, these people live out in the sticks.
Like, the dude literally had a little pill bottle with an Oxycontin in it. And he said, you ever heard of a West Virginia mating call? And he rattled the pill bottle.
Okay, but why don't you tell everybody the story about Dale?
Well, no, I was just going to say that, I was just going to talk about Davis, West Virginia.
Oh.
And I actually looked it up because, like I said, a real good friend of mine growing up, we used to travel back there. And, man, talk about the sticks. But I didn't realize how small the town was until I looked it up today. And it only has like 600 and some people in population. Now, apparently there's a town that they wouldn't even take you in. So all these folks down there in West Virginia that lived in the 600 population town, they lived up a mountain. It was Davis, West Virginia is the highest corporation limit in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. And so they lived up at the, like pretty much on top of a mountain. And you would have to come down to a town called, I think it was called Parsons. And you would have to pretty much drive down this mountain to get there. And that was the big city. And I want to say Parsons were probably only, if I was to guess, if Davis had 600 people, Parsons may have a couple thousand people in that town.
Oh. And
they had like a little grocery store and stuff like that. But I just remember being around some of the craziest, hilljack type
Can you
people
please
you've
tell a
ever
story
met.
about Dale?
Nah, I don't want to talk about Dale.
Not even the one like in the wintertime when he fell. Come on.
Nah, that's not a good story, but I'll tell you guys a real quick story about it. Dale, my buddy's brother, who is literally like a 6'5" giant hillbilly. He's got a hand, like if you were to see the way he looks whenever he squeezes his hands, he's got like, it's like the size of a cantaloupe, his knuckles.
See, I've never met him, but John has told me so many
Big
stories
old beard,
about him. Like I feel like I know him, and I was just like,
big old lanky hillbilly, but stronger than Knox at the same time, but like a big old tall lumberjack lanky hillbilly guy. And one hell of a dude. I mean, when we were driving down to West Virginia, it was hilarious. He drove my car, and we were all drinking on the way down there. And I remember we were drinking Wild Irish Rose the whole way, which is some nasty shit.
yeah.
And he would just pull over right on the side of the highway, and he would pee on the side of the highway, and he would have his shirt tucked under his chin and his pants clear down to his ankles. So it would just be bare ass, and people would be driving by and honking at him, and he would just kind of like wave at them, you know. He would just wave at them, but he ended up coming back here. So he lived in West Virginia for quite a long time. He would have been probably way better if he would have stayed there. So he comes back here and lives in Ohio and lives in the little town that I grew up in Piqua. And I guess one night he was at the bar, and he had a one-legged buddy, a guy who only had one leg, who was like down in the dumps, and he was drinking with them. And apparently the next day was the one-legged guy's mom's funeral, but it was in Kentucky, and he couldn't make it, right? So Dale, being the good guy that he is, and being the compassionate friend that he is,
He's got a good heart.
he tells him that he's going to take the guy to the funeral. Well, what do? They walk around to the gas station. There's a car running there. He gets his one-legged buddy in there, and they steal the car. And so they hit the highway, and they literally make it down to Middletown, Ohio, which if you're driving from Piqua to Middletown, you're probably looking like, he made like 45 minutes down the highway before they started the high-speed pursuit.
Oh.
And that's when the sheriffs got behind him.
Yeah.
And they ended up turning off the Middletown exit, and Dale ended up going through some residential neighborhoods trying to like evade the police.
Yeah.
And he made like a bad turn and ended up in somebody's front yard and right through the front of their house.
Oh, you never told me that.
No, he actually, the whole front end of the car went into this little Middletown house.
Oh.
And right into their front living room. Luckily, nobody was in there, that nobody got hurt. And then when the sheriffs came and ran up on him at gunpoint, one of them got too close, and he uppercutted him and sent him about 4 feet in the air and landed on his back. And
you never told me all this story.
Yep, and that's when they took him down, and he ended up spending, I think, 5 years in Lebanon Penitentiary for that.
Really?
It could have been longer. Yeah, it could have been longer.
Really?
So Dale's one of them guys where, like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but he actually probably did well in prison. But he's one that probably done well in prison. But
do you know what happened to him when he got out?
You know, I don't know. I think he's still running around Old Piqua, Ohio.
No, he's not.
I think he is. Yeah, he's the funniest guy on planet Earth. I mean, he's a hilarious dude. We used to all smoke weed with him when we were kids, and he'd get out the guitar and he could sing the funniest fucking songs, and just have us all laughing. I mean, to the point to where we almost couldn't even breathe with the way this dude was. He was just a natural born entertainer, comedian, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I always like characters like that in life, you know.
No, me too.
You know,
get me all emotional.
Can't everybody all emotional about Dale?
And I haven't even met the fucker, but I feel like I know him.
But I feel like I know him.
I know, I do.
Yeah. You know, my whole plan back in the day when we first went to that little town of Davis, West Virginia, is that I was going to be the weed connect for that town. Oh my God. Like, because we would get like this. We would get this pot up here locally that was what we call commercial grade, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you had like the really, really good shit, and I could get that too. But we had some pretty decent, what you would call like commercial grade weed.
It's like right there in the middle.
Yeah, and when we went down to West Virginia, I would bring a bunch with me and sell it to, you know, the whole town pretty much.
Yeah, and they probably loved it.
They loved that shit. In fact, they thought it was the chronic. So the type of weed they were getting down there was just shit, like back then.
Dirt weed.
I mean, it was just like full of seeds and practically brown. So when you brought them something that just had a little greenery to it, the whole town lined up and was buying it from me. So that was our whole deal. Was we were, trucking. We were trucking a whole bunch of it down there. We weren't like doing it like that, but enough to like pay for our trip and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have ran into a lot of people that are very successful entrepreneurs, and you end up finding out that at one time they sold weed.
Yeah. You know what, though? And all of us realize that just because you can sell weed does not make you a salesman.
Well, no, because it sells itself.
Because, technically, like drugs, like people want them so much that they sell themselves.
Absolutely.
Now, there's been times I had to be a salesman. There was some times that we, I remember we used to get this, a buddy of mine got this, like, dirt weed shipped up, and we had to figure out a way to move it. But he was getting this shit for, like, $250 a pound.
Yeah.
Like, literally, $250 for a pound of weed. So, I mean, even if you sold an ounce for $100, or even if you sold an ounce for $50,
that shit that you would be smoking, it'd be like killing your throat. Like it would hurt so bad.
It was
nasty
pretty rough.
Shit.
Yeah, what happened? I guess what happened. One of my friends' buddies, I guess, got in a deal with somebody down in California, and they fucked him over and sold him a bunch of dirt weed.
Oh,
and he had to find. He's like, where am I gonna get rid of all this dirt weed in California? They're like, let's ship it to Ohio.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you're definitely not a salesman. I found that out with wifey here's brother when he was a weed man selling weed, and I actually got him on to some legitimate business and had him selling a product. I know many of you guys might be in the automotive industry, and if you are, there's like back in the day, one of the big popular things was I think it's called Xylon or some shit. It's like a paint sealant on a car, and it is like a clear one. Like nowadays, they got the stuff that's got the fucking ceramic coating and the ceramic shit, right? Well, back in the day, there was something, I think it was called Xylon, and it was big in the market. Well, there was another company that came along named Strikeforce, and it was owned by my buddy Mike Golden, and some of you guys may have seen him inside of the Marketing Savage group. But Mike, he pretty much developed an identical product to this Xylon and sold it at like a lesser cost, and he was getting it into a shit ton of car dealers. And I was kind of like part of that in the early days, and I tried to get her brother to sell some of it, and he told me one time that he walked into a car dealership, and he's like, dude, he's like, I was really embarrassed. Why didn't you tell me about this? I'm like, tell you about what? And he's like, well, let me tell you what happened. I guess he walks into the car dealership like he's got drugs on him.
Yeah.
And he talks to the guy, I tell him, get a hold of the used car, or no, I'm sorry, probably with the new car manager, and, give him the presentation and all this, show him the flyers and this kind of stuff, talk to him about how much profit margin he can make and all this, right? And I think he walks in like he's got these this really good weed, and it's just gonna sell itself, right?
Oh dear God!
And it ended up like, hey man, you want some of this? Like he probably walked in with it and was like, hey man, I got some of this Strikeforce. You want some of this, man? And ended up like the car salesman asked him, he's like, are you gonna sell this to me? And he's like, what do you mean, man? You want some? Like he literally was trying to sell him.
Yeah, I don't think my brother's.
He was trying to sell him that shit like he's selling fucking good weed.
Well, I just don't think that my brother would have been a good salesperson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it reminds me about the good weed thing. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie Car Wash, where Snoop Dogg ends up ordering a bunch of weed from Tommy Chong.
Yes.
And he puts down like this whole pound of weed, and then he takes out like this little tiny sack and he puts it like on top of it. And Snoop Dogg asks him how much it is, and he's like, $9,000, man. And Snoop's like, shit, man, I only got like 500. And so he takes off the little tiny bag. He goes, all right, man, but I'm keeping this.
We haven't watched that movie in like forever. Like forever, ever.
Well, that'd be a good one. That's a hilarious movie.
Maybe we should watch that this evening.
Car Wash.
Car Wash.
I know it because like I came up in a car wash. That's where I started.
That is true. And then you taught me how to detail cars. Remember in the very beginning when we were living in that little apartment?
Yeah, we were hustling.
Yeah, I was working at Phill as a customer service rep, and I was working there during the day. And then as soon as I left work, I'd pick Jonathan up from daycare and go over to your mom and dad's, and we would detail cars in the garage in the evening.
Yeah, we had a hustle, man, where I would go to the car dealerships, and it was a time when I was first learning how to do dent removal.
Yep.
We'd already been out to California. I'd got my training, and we were kind of starting that business, but it has a really hard learning curve to it. One of the reasons why I started denttrainer.com is because I knew how hard it was for me to learn. So in between the time as we're trying to build this dent removal company, we were detailing cars because that's something that I had done for years. I mean, I started detailing cars for my dad, and then later on I got a job detailing them from a dude who lived down the street when I was like 15 years old.
Yep.
And he had a shop right down the road. But I was always detailing cars. And then whenever I started out the car wash, after I became the manager, one of the first things I did was open up their detailing center.
No, we need to talk about when we were doing that, not when you were doing that.
But then that led to I left the car wash.
Yes.
I left the car wash, and then we started detailing. And in fact, we started this business. My dad lives in like a residential neighborhood.
Yep.
And he's got a decent-sized garage. What he kind of did was, if you could imagine, he took what would be the equivalent of a 3-car garage, and he like built it sideways. So he put the door on the end instead of the back.
Yeah.
So, and he had so many tools and so much stuff around the shop that you could really comfortably pull one car in there at a time.
Yeah.
But it was super comfortable because you could work around it, and it was a filthy garage. So it was kind of crazy. Like it was, there was mechanics that went down in there. There was paint jobs that happened in there all the time. It was a garage where you did everything out of. I don't care if you were changing oil, changing a motor, if you were detailing a car, or you were painting a car. All that shit was done out of that one garage.
Yeah.
And
we were like one hell of a team when we would detail a car. You did the outside and I did the inside.
Yeah, we did it every evening.
Stuck with the shitty job.
Yeah, we did that every evening, and
some of them cars on the inside were horrible. I remember how dirty they were.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I remember spending my days with my dad and my mom, and they were driving me around during the day to pick them up.
Yep.
So probably I would spend the first 3 to 4 hours of the day delivering the first ones, and then picking other cars up to bring them back. And then we would have our the amount of cars that we were going to do for either a day or two.
Yep.
And then we would run through and cycle them cars, and then I would contact everybody, let them know I'm bringing their car back. Do they have any ones to swap out? And that's how we started. That's how we made our money to get by. At the very beginning. We didn't have any overhead. We were living in a really tiny apartment.
Yeah.
And,
a little apartment.
Yeah, very little apartment. And we were just out there hustling, and then what would happen is I would have cars in for the detailing, and I would contact the car dealership if I noticed dents, and I would upsell the dents, and then we had other ways that we would upsell.
And we only had one car at the time, and that's when, I think we had the Expedition at that time by then. We had the Expedition, and then your dad, he used to sell cars on the side. So he would give me a car to drive around back and forth to work, or any errands that I had to do. And the one car that I drove around the most was it was teal, and it was an Escort wagon.
Yeah, a Ford Escort wagon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I could put like $5 worth of gas, and that would last me like 2 weeks. Because that thing was so good on gas. And every now and again, we'll be like out driving around, and I'll see somebody that is still driving one of them things around. And I'm like, look, John. I was like, I used to drive one of them, them cars around.
I mean, I could definitely say that when we started our business, we definitely started from the bottom of the bottom.
We didn't have shit.
But what I'll tell you, like what I found through all these years, I mean, even starting from where we were then to where we are now, is that number one, if you go out and you want it, you're going to get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you go out and you want it bad enough, you're going to get it regardless. It may be slow at the beginning, and if I look back, would I have changed any of them things? I wouldn't change any of them at all.
No.
It was all time to forge your character, and there's so many deep understandings that I know now from just even back then. A lot of relationship building principles and techniques, but I'm just telling you, it's out there no matter what. It's there. You've just got to want it, and you've got to relentlessly pursue it.
Absolutely. And I remember when we had enough money coming in, we bought me, remember that Mustang? But they gave us a really good deal because the quarter panel was fucked up,
crushed.
But you and your dad ended up like redoing it and painting the thing.
I actually fixed it, and I made a little rookie's mistake, I remember. And I was sanding down because the quarter panel was crushed. So, you know, me, I'm not going to, back then especially, now I would, whatever. But back then, you know, I just used like straight up Bondo. We yanked it and just Bondoed the shit out of this thing. And, you know, my dad would come over and check on me every now and again as I was sanding it and sculpting it, because he was definitely more of a body man than me. I haven't done, I can do body work, but I haven't done a ton of it. And
you'd be okay.
I remember getting it just about right, and I made the beginner's mistake because you'll put a piece of tape over the bumper, and you'll do that so whenever you're sanding, you don't scratch the bumper. You don't want to have to fix the bumper, right? I mean, you especially when you're sanding with big shit like cheese graters and shit like that, where you're really trying to cut it down. You don't want to damage the bumper that's below the car. But whenever I got the body line done and I did the paint job and shit like that, I forgot to pull the tape back, and I missed the body line by about an inch. So it had a body line that ran down to the bumper about an inch tighter. It looked good on the car.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
only thing I noticed, I think it had like, the paint job had like a little bit of, what do they call them, like fish
dust.
eyes or something
it had
like
dust.
that?
There was no way.
I mean, it wasn't hateful.
Inside of that garage where there was, you know, like I said, they're doing mechanic work. We're doing detailing work, probably spraying silicone all over the place.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, we're doing paint jobs in there. You're going to have fish eyes.
I remember when I got that car, like I was so tickled. The thing need detailed. I mean, it was dirty as hell, but I was just like, hell, I can do that.
Yeah, we cleaned it up. God, I think I bought that. That was a 2005, wasn't it? 2005 Mustang?
I don't know. We still had that car.
No, it was older. It was actually a 2001, wasn't it?
We had that car when we lived in the condo in Troy, and then we sold it.
Okay, it was a 2005 Mustang then, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it was only a couple years old when we bought it. But I remember that we only paid because it had that quarter panel that was crushed in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think back then we only paid $10,000 for it.
Yeah, we got a really good deal on that car.
Really good. I mean, it drove. Like, we literally drove it with a crushed quarter panel for a while.
Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah. Until I had time to pull it in the garage and fix that shit myself.
Yep, you fixed it. It looked nice afterwards. I was happy with it.
Hey, that's the way you had to do things. That's the way you got to do things sometime, you know.
I know.
Like nowadays, I just pay somebody to do all my body work, but
well, yeah,
you know.
But back then, we did all that shit ourselves.
Yep, because ain't nobody got no money for that shit.
That's true.
But yeah, it was you know, we had the humble beginnings. We lived in I think our apartment really cost like $365 a month.
Yeah.
It was our monthly payment for our apartment. And then I can't even remember when I bought the 99 Ford Expedition.
Oh, I love that vehicle.
Yeah, that was a great vehicle.
I know.
But when I bought it, I remember it had 99,000 miles on it. It was real close to 100,000 miles. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it wasn't bad, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I think I bought that sucker in 2001. So it wasn't really that old. You know, it was like buying a 99 vehicle in 2001. It was not that old of a vehicle. So it was nice, but it had about 100,000 miles. And I remember driving that bitch until it had like 265,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And it was still going strong.
Yeah. That was one hell of a vehicle. That was like, because we used to go camping all the time. And that's what
I don't
we would
even
sleep
remember
in.
what the car payment was on that.
Was it like around $300 or something?
Yeah, like $300 a month.
Yeah, I think it was. We used to take that thing camping all the time. We would get a full-size blow-up bed and just stick it right there, fold the seats down and stick that thing back there, and pillows and blankets. And in the summertime, it was awesome because when it was hot out, all we had to do was turn the vehicle on and we have AC, you know?
I remember the only bad time with that vehicle, a 99 Expedition, is whenever gas got really high.
Yes.
You know, when gas got to like $4.50 a gallon or something like that.
Yeah, and you were doing mobile at the time.
Yeah, I was driving down to Cincinnati every day, so it was costing me about $100 every couple of days.
Yeah.
which was okay because I was making a lot of money.
Yeah, that was a really good vehicle. When we were down in Texas, we rented one. And then we were reminiscing about all the good old times that we used to have.
Yeah, but that was like a brand new Expedition that we rented, but it was nice. It was very nice.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think Ford killed it. I'd probably nowadays, I'd probably go with a Lincoln because I've been looking at them.
Them Lincolns are nice.
Especially that Lincoln Navigator.
Oh, they are so nice.
And then and the Escalades that they came out with are fucking awesome too.
Yes, they are.
The brand new Escalades, they got that new interior, the new dashboard, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get hyped up about some of the new Cadillacs though. We went and looked at them.
They just don't tickle our pickle.
Shit, we were looking at the one car I was impressed with is we were out at the Porsche dealership, which they also got a Land Rover dealership next door to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was called I think it was called a Land Rover Defender.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy fucking shit, that's actually a nice vehicle. They're about $75,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course she was looking at the Porsche Cayenne. I think it's called like a Cayenne something, like a Cayenne Sport or something like that.
I don't know. Here's the thing with me, though, when it comes to a car. Like, they've got to look good in the front, but they have to have a really good rear end. Like, if if the rear end does not look good on the vehicle, I'm not sold. I'm like, nope, I don't care. I don't care what it can do. I don't care what it looks like on the inside. If it doesn't have a good rear, it's just not going to do nothing for me.
Well, that's how I was with you, actually. Like, the very first time that I seen you, I was like, yeah, she got a pretty good looking front end. I'm like, hold on, I better let her turn around and see if that rear end looks all right before I'm sold.
You know, I remember when I was pregnant with Jonathan. So, like, I put on about 50 pounds when I was pregnant with Jonathan. And I remember the bigger I got, the more John was just like
Woo!
all over me. Like, my ass got
honk.
Yeah, my ass got so big that you seriously, like, it stuck out to the point where you could put a plate on my butt and it would just sit there. Like, I had a big old ass. I did. I had a big old ass. Yeah, big old ass.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I'm like, yep, I'm ready for this baby to come out because... Phew, pregnant in the summertime? That's horrible. That is horrible.
Wasn't too bad for me.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for you, but it was horrible for me.
Except I had to listen to you complain about it.
No, I really didn't complain that much. John, we are not going there. We are not going there. This man has, like, drove me crazy. So John has been saying this one thing that he has picked up from Kurt from Apex.
Kurt's a boss.
And it's
Kurt
nothing.
Lennington.
It's nothing against Kurt, but see, John picked this little saying that he set up, and John says this like.
You know what Kurt said?
He has said that, and you've even said it before on the prior podcast. But see, listen, John will say it like over and over and over again, and what it has done is like it started. He's like picking at me, you know, just like picking at me,
angering her,
and it was like making me like angry. So the other day I was just like, I mean, you gotta stop it, because that was like when I got my lips done and then you were making fun of me and stuff like that. Like it's funny at first, it's okay in the beginning, but then it gets to the point where John's just like, man, he just keeps going in and in and in, and then with the lips, my feelings got hurt, you know. And I told him like, you need to back off with that. But then that saying that he picked up, I mean, he just kept going in and
she'll
in.
ask me. Here's the saying. She'll ask me, when am I coming home? And I'll say what Kurt tells his wife: as soon as I can.
No.
I love it.
That does not. But see, and then John tells me, he goes, listen, he's like, I just kept doing it because I wanted to see when you were going to crack. When I'm like, fucker, I just cracked. Now quit saying it. I mean, it was just like, oh, drove me crazy.
I guess she told me I can say, yeah, I'll be home as soon as I can, but no later than 5.
I just need to know a time. That's it. I mean, what he doesn't
you
realize.
You need to learn to let go.
Here's the thing, is I miss you throughout the day, and you work very hard, and I understand exactly what you're doing for our family, but I just miss you. And so when you call
She's so
me.
clingy.
John. I'm like clingy, but then I'm like wanting my independence at the same time.
Well, I give you both.
Well, yeah, I know. But the thing is like, I look forward to seeing you when you come home because I miss you. And I just need to know a time. That's about it.
As soon as I'm ready.
Oh, my God. Here we go again. You're not allowed.
No later than 5.
But John does this shit. That's like, I think this morning we were talking
Unless
about.
I got to go pick up Mexican food.
But then we were talking about something and, the nicknames. And I'm like, no, we are not going down that road, John Hiley.
What, the nicknames I used to call you all the time?
We're not going to announce some of them nicknames, okay? We are not.
Maybe on the next podcast.
No, we are not doing that. But you, John Hiley, you have this tendency that at first it's funny. But then after a while, I'm like, I don't need any more of this. We need to switch it up. Like, dear God, but my birthday.
Come on, girl. I give everybody nicknames. Even people at the gym.
I know you do.
Remember Itchy Butt?
Did we ever talk about that? Wait, no, I think we were talking. I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
No, but this week coming up is my birthday on Wednesday. March 3rd. I'll be 41 years old.
We're going to be heading down and spending some time with our tool distributors, Craig and Christina, and their families.
Yes.
I don't know who else is coming. I just know that Christina's booking the reservation, and I know Craig and his wife's going to be there, and that's all I know.
Yeah, and that's on my birthday.
Yeah, and that's going to be, we're trying a new restaurant down in Fort Worth, Texas. So
yeah, I feel like
I would tell you, but I don't want anybody showing up there.
I honestly feel like when we go to Texas, it's like turning into like the promised land.
Ooh, Lord.
I know.
We got a lot of clients in Texas.
I know.
We work with a lot of Texans.
And
they're the best kind of people to work with.
I know. And the thing is like every time we go to Texas, like something so magical happens, and then we come back to Ohio, and I'm just like, I ask God, I'm like, are we supposed to move there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
It's so weird how dreams evolve, because over this last year we probably did more traveling than we've done ever before.
Yeah, we went out to Utah and fell in love with Utah. We thought we were going to move out there, and then we've
never been big travelers. I mean,
No.
a lot of people, for the longest time, I was convinced that I didn't really like to travel.
Yeah.
Because it was annoying, and why would I want to leave work, and these kind of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but now, like after I traveled quite a bit this year, believe it or not, the year that they put all these travel restrictions and shit like that is enough for like me. Like I'm the kind of person to be like, well, fuck you, I'm traveling. So like I traveled everywhere.
That's what we did.
I can't even tell you. Like we were
after when they
every month we were somewhere.
When they lifted the shutdown thing or something like that, man, we were going everywhere.
We were going during the shutdown thing.
No, we weren't going down.
Did we didn't go nowhere during the shutdown?
No, remember like Donald Trump shut the economy down for whatever, and then he lifted it.
I thought we flew out to Utah during that time.
We went out there and
we were out in Utah 3 times, and we stayed in Salt Lake City twice, and then we stayed in Zion National Park twice.
No, it wasn't like the shutdown was lifted in Ohio, and it was.
They just lifted the damn shutdown in California.
They did? That fucking sucks.
I don't know if it's all still like shut down, but.
I don't know. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on that thing.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know what to believe. My dad, he went and got the COVID vaccine, and I love my dad dearly, and I was just joking with him. I'm like, well, at least we can use you as a guinea pig to see if anything happens.
He's our lab rat. Well, I asked a question on Facebook, like, about people getting the vaccine, and most people said there were some side effects.
Yeah.
Some people said, like, there were some serious side effects. Like, one dude talked about his wife ain't been right ever since she did it. And then there's some people had no side effects, and there's some people that were kind of like sick for a day or two.
Yeah.
And then there was one dude who commented on there who basically said that his neighbor, who was like a healthy, like 50-some-year-old lady, went and took it and died 2 days later. But what they're doing, like if you look at this shit, They're hiding this shit on Google and they're hiding it on YouTube. So if somebody comes out with a video talking anything negative about the vaccine, like if they talk about their negative side effects, like YouTube will take that shit down. Facebook will take that shit down.
Okay, what is the purpose? Because anytime you see some type of like pharmaceutical drug commercial, they run on all the side effects that you possibly can have.
Yeah, but they say the side effects because they have to, but they also do it while it's like somebody smiling with beautiful music playing underneath of it. It's like a marketing technique. And we're so desensitized from hearing a medicine and its side effects.
Yeah.
Like every single medicine commercial there is.
So what's their purpose of hiding it? Is it just because they want everybody to go out there and get the damn thing?
They really want to push the vaccine for whatever reason. I don't know. We could go in conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
land.
we could go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes of wondering why. I'm not getting the damn thing.
Hell no.
No, thank you.
Nope.
No, thank you. No, thank you at all.
Shit ain't for me.
No. Nope. I mean, I don't have any problem if people want to go get it. You know, my dad got it, and I wasn't like, you know, telling him like, you know, don't get that, Dad. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
Did you read the thing that was out there about 50 of Biden's staff members who went to China, and they said that the Chinese forced them to take anal COVID tests? This is true, by the way. This is true.
I seen Stuman talking about that. Really?
That really happened. Like Biden's staff, all like 50 of them.
Why?
Got their.
They went to China.
And they claimed that the Chinese were very hostile about making them do it. And the Chinese claimed that they didn't. But they came back and said that, well, the Chinese made him feel very uncomfortable because they were proposing this. And then if they denied doing it, that they would seem like they would come off homophobic.
Well, I don't.
There's a different kind of fucking stupid out there is what it is. That's a different level of fucking dumb. I'm going to let somebody shove something in my ass because if I don't do that, then people might think I'm homophobic.
Well, ain't nobody sticking anything up my ass because that's exit only. Exit only. I even tell John this. I said, this is exit only.
You didn't have to go there.
Well, it is. Ain't nobody sticking anything up my ass. But that really did happen?
Yeah. 50 of his staff members got anal probed by the Chinese.
Like,
I think they were just establishing their dominance, letting them know that right off the bat that they're going to shove it up America's ass. I mean, do you think that they would have done that to Trump staff members?
No.
Trump staff members ain't taking shit up their ass like that.
You know, that was one thing that I really did like about that man. You know, because I had mixed feelings about him. But I really liked how he did not take shit from nobody.
Yeah, he commanded a lot of respect.
You know, that's something that I really, really liked about his personality. Because I feel like, in all honesty, that people need to be, that's something that I feel like people need to kind of, you know, be a little bit more of. You know, but I really admired that about his personality.
Yeah, what is that T-shirt that I seen? Do no harm, take no shit.
I guess.
That's a good fucking little mantra to live by.
That was one thing. But, you know, here's the thing that with the media, they can, how do I want to say it? Well, obviously they hated Donald Trump, and then they used all their tactics to get a lot of American people not to like him. But the thing is that they had some documentary that came out on Hulu about Britney Spears, and the media did the same shit to her. I mean, they tore that poor girl apart, and there was no need to. Like, she was just a performer out there dancing and singing her stuff, and they tore this girl apart. And then, like, some of the shows that she was on, and it was like the late night shows. I think she was on like David Letterman they showed. And some of the questions that he was asking her, I'm like, who the fuck does he think he is? A grown man asking a young lady questions that a grown man shouldn't be asking.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad I don't watch none of that shit, including
No,
the
but
news.
it just shows you, like the media kind of turns into like a bunch of like a bully, or they turn into like major haters.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
So, I mean, if you haven't watched that Britney Spears documentary on Hulu, I highly recommend it. It's actually really good because, in all honesty, it shows you what they can do to somebody.
Yeah, I recommend the Michael Jordan documentary.
That one's really good.
Watch that one too. So, anyhow, we running a little bit late tonight, 54 minutes into the podcast. So, I'm going to shut this bitch down because we got to go home.
Yes.
Hang out with our dogs.
Yes. I gotta go get my smoke and my weed on.
Well, we don't hide that on this show. So
No, we don't.
there's not a lot we hide from you guys.
Nope. Mm-mm.
So, except for Miss Angela's nicknames.
We're not going there, John, because they're not appropriate. They're not nice.
They're nice.
John.
Yeah.
No.
All right, everybody.
Tell me you
I'm
love
getting
me.
the evil eye. You know I
Tell
love
me how
you.
much
You
you
know
love
I
me.
love you. All right, everybody. So thank you for coming along on this Marketing Revolution podcast.
And remember, it's all about the motherfucking hustle.
And remember to leave us a motherfucking review.
Yes.
And if you're not in the inner circle, you got approximately 7 days from now to get in on it.
7 days.
At the $297 price point, lifetime. You never got to pay again.
And you know you
we'll
want
see
it.
you on that next one.
You know you want it.
Pew, pew.
Bang, bang.